Never turn my back on FBG, God forbid. And look, I ain't wear this shit for no cool points from Super. I wore this shit off the strength. Cause at the end of the day, this shit's all about loyalty. Some your ass might never know nothing about. But while we on this Atlanta shit, what's up, Aubrey? I ain't heard from you in a while, boy. Where you been? Oh. Cognac. Dom cap the fuck up this raspberry lemonade. You remember what Wayne told you, right? What'd he say? It's a grown man's business. When you got into this rap shit, Weezy told your ass, Drake, stay who you are. Be you. You ain't got to prove shit to none of these niggas. You ain't got to go down that street nigga route. But now look at you. You're shaking like a stripper, nigga. Tighten up. I'm so disappointed in you this evening. And this is what leads me to feel like you ain't really been through the shit that you rap about, Drake, because niggas who really been in that life and really been in the field, they not trying to fucking go back. That's not a part of their life that they're proud of. So when a nigga like you comes across this unfound success that he has, you're supposed to keep it trucking, bro. Once you go pop, it ain't no going back. Because once you get tied up into that street life and that street shit, it's hard to get the fuck out, bro. Henceforth, why they call it the trap. And like I said in that last video about DJ Academics, both of y'all are like on two different levels. But y'all in the same damn boat because I'm watching both of y'all situations play out like that movie In Too Deep with Omar Epps. If none of y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all go watch that movie and you'll get what I'm saying. It's like y'all done got so engulfed into the character that you can't get out of that motherfucker at this point. You're stuck. You're in too deep. If it ever has to come to a point where I got to fucking hop out and say some shit, you know you crashing the fuck out. Just off of the simple fact, I've been letting y'all slide with a lot of whole shit for years. But like I said before, it just comes to a point where you got to draw the fucking line. And like I said, I'm not here to get on your ass or to join the hate train. Because at one point, I honestly, truly, genuinely fucked with you. And you're gonna hear me say this often. I'm from Augusta, damn Georgia, bruh. The demographic down here is fucked up, especially when it comes to the music scene. All these niggas know is Waka Flocka Flame, Jeezy, the old Gucci, and Boosie. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those niggas, but to this day, they bump that shit religiously in the clubs. So you can only imagine when I was coming up, how hard it was to come across some real good music. Me personally, I couldn't rely on the radio. I had to go to MySpace to find all my good shit. And that's how I came across your ass. That Replacement Girl shit with you and Trey Songz, that shit was hitting. Now look, just like most niggas from the South, I'm trapped the fuck out. So that's not some shit I'm gonna listen to every day. But I can be man enough to say that I fuck with that shit. And look, I was vouching for you. Because around that time, wasn't nobody trying to hear none of that rapping and singing shit. But I ain't knocking because I seen what you was trying to do. I seen how you was trying to get in. Singing to these bitches. And as you should, because at that time, wasn't nobody else doing it. Smart man. Fast forward. I'm seeing you, I'm seeing Nicki, I'm seeing Wiz Khalifa, I'm seeing all of y'all have y'all rise on MySpace. But like I said, I'm trapped the fuck out. So around this time, I'm only listening to Nipsey Hussle, Gucci, Rocco, and Future. Whole time, Future really done snuck his ass in because while Rax is going dumb, I'm thinking it's the nigga YC shit. Until the shit started circulating on MySpace that Future wrote the shit. I'm like, shit, it was two niggas on the song the whole time? But Future actually wrote the song. And that's when I realized you low-key can be a songwriter. You don't even gotta be a fucking artist. You don't have to be in the limelight. And look, I'm not finna make this no long and drawn-out glazing session of Fire Marshal Future. But I have to give you all the background as to how Drake even came across my radar in the first place. Because like I said, I'm from Augusta, damn Georgia. Majority of these niggas where I'm from is either getting fronted, they broke as hell, or they riding the next man's dick who ain't even from the fucking city. Ain't nobody passing down no information on what to do and what not to do in this rap shit. Me personally, the only people that I had to look up to or to follow is Lil Petey, Pastor Troy, and TK and Cash. And at that time, Future was the one for me, who I followed, who was the one giving it up, giving the ins and outs and what the fuck was going on in the music industry. Double XL, freshman class, 2012. Go, leg out. But look, he was the only thing I had to look up to. He was in Atlanta. He was the closest thing I had to a nigga from Augusta to look to on how to maneuver through this rap shit. And I know what you're thinking. After saying all of that, I ain't gonna get into how you hopped on my boy Tony Montana remix and ain't show up for the music video. I ain't even gonna get into how you tried to kick my boy off of your tour. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna keep it 100. If he was talking shit about you, you have your right to do that, but I would have just bossed up on his ass on the tour and proved him wrong. And that's only if he said the shit that y'all claim he said. And Drake, what I don't think you ever understood is you dealing with a real ass trap nigga. Tony Montana music video that either came out of his own pocket or it came out the budget. You trying to kick him off of that tour. He's missing out on $40,000 a night, which is $1.5 million altogether. So based off of those two offenses alone, you're fucking with a nigga money at this point. Allegedly, I would have filed a lawsuit on your ass too. Business is business. That's what you showed the nigga. And look, it's different when you fuck a nigga over while he's up, vice versa when a nigga is just having his start. It hits a whole lot different. And look, I'm a Scorpio, so I kind of can relate to how both of y'all niggas be thinking. Quick side note, I ain't never liked the way you October Scorpios used to move anyways. Y'all always used to do some shiesty ass shit, and that's just me personally of the bullshit I done had to deal with in my life. But anyways, Drake, one of the real reasons why I truly fucked with you is because regardless to if you had any ghostwriters or not, that will never take away from the fact that your pen game is crazy. I put you up there to the likings of Pluto. I put you up there with the heavy hitters like The Dream, Missy Elliott, Pharrell, Kanye, T-Pain. Because regardless if they make the charts or not, nigga, you know how to make hits. But somewhere down the line, you lost sight of all of that shit when you got into this back and forth with Kendrick. And like I said in my last video with Academics, I'm not finna be putting a whole bunch of energy behind this shit. I'm finna speak my piece and keep it fucking moving. And because this is dealing with you, Drake, I know my pussy rate probably gonna go down after this. And it's probably niggas that's gonna stop fucking with me because I'm speaking my mind. But fuck it. That'll be an island that I'll stand alone on proudly. And I'm not even gonna get into the actual battle because there was a whole lot of sucker shit I seen you doing throughout that whole entire fiasco. One, the original version of Push-Ups that you put out was not the one that you released on all streaming platforms, which lets me know that now you're fishing for a sound. You're wanting to see what everybody gravitates to, and that's the one that you're gonna put out. Two, when it comes to the 20v1 shit, don't throw Pluto into the mix because you've been taking shots at that nigga. And look, I'm a songwriter as well. I know lyrics. I know double entendres and all that shit. On Her Loss, you was tippy-toeing around a lot of shit where I was like, could it be or could it not be? But then you doubled down on For All the Dogs. And a nigga not stupid, just like you ain't. Cause you smart. You know how to have one thing sounding one way, but it's really saying something else. And that what would Pluto do? That shit sounding a little sketchy, bruh. 3, this is why it even felt like a 20v1 Drake. Because every time your ass get into some shit, you come trying to manipulate and do underhanded shit like throwing everybody else's name in the mix. Travis got you wiped down. SZA got you wiped down. Savage got you wiped down. This is between you and Kendrick. Stop name dropping all these other motherfuckers. And you did the same exact shit with TaylorMade, doing the AI shit and bringing Tupac and Snoop into the fucking situation. You tried your best to turn everybody against that nigga when it's supposed to be a 1v1. You want to know who really bang a set? CB really bang a set. Chuck T bang a set. YG bang. Like, why do you keep tying other motherfuckers into your shit, nigga? Stand on your own 2 feet. before, you did exactly what DJ Academics told your ass not to do. Stop bringing these niggas' wives into the mix. Hi, Whitney. Hi, Whitney. And then you didn't even come out to say if that track was AI or not. You let Academics come in there and clarify that shit. And at this point, he ain't even a fucking reliable source. And seeing as that's how you got your ass spanked last time, which made you had to gracefully bow out and say, I study rap battles for a living, and there's rules to this shit. You prove time and time again that there ain't no rules to this shit by the way you be fucking moving, Drake. And rumor has it, you ain't show up to the Tony Montana music video because you went to go attend a rap battle. So if you ain't learned since then that there ain't no rules into this shit, then what the fuck are you in it for, Drake? And I'm not gonna get into who won or who lost or none of that shit. Because judging by the way you're responding to all of this shit now, it's obvious who took the L. And this is where I lost all respect for you, bruh. Look, the whole cease and desist shit was already throwing me the fuck off. I was like, boy, I know this nigga Drizzy ain't going out like that. But I ain't want to throw that on your jacket because I ain't had no proof. But this whole lawsuit against UMG is all the proof that I need. And like I said in the beginning of all this shit, business is business. So I get it. To a certain extent, get your fucking coins, Drake, because it seems like that's all that fucking matters to you anyway. But nigga, I went over the paperwork. And it looks like you trying to spin this shit like you ain't at fault for none of the bullshit that took place. You trying to spin this shit like you just at fear for your life at this fucking point. When you got niggas on your end publicly threatening to kill Kendrick Lamar. And this is why I said your ass in too deep. Because now you done crossed lines where niggas got the bleed at this point, Drake. And what's crazy is the whole lawsuit is revolving around Not Like Us. So you mean to tell me you ain't hear all the shit that nigga Kendrick said on Meet the Grams? That shit is 10 times worse than Not Like Us. You ain't mentioned that not once in the fucking lawsuit. And that song had some heavy allegations in that motherfucker. Which leads me to think, if that was ever to be brought up in court, you would have to prove without a shadow of a doubt that none of the shit in that song was true. When it's all said and done, you ain't doing this shit for the culture, Drake. You doing this shit for you. And that's cool. You doing what a nigga like you is supposed to do. You been running this shit for so goddamn long that you finna take the biggest shit all over this motherfucker on your way out. So kudos to you. I don't blame you. I blame you niggas for allowing that nigga to come in here and do this type of shit. This is your fucking fault. So be prepared to deal with the fucking consequences that come with this shit. So if the rap game ever turns into some bullshit where you can't really have freedom of speech because if you use a nigga name or liking in the wrong manner, he could just up and sue your ass at any given moment. Don't blame Drake. Blame your damn self. You created this fucking monster. And the way y'all be going broke all the time, I can see y'all filing a bunch of lawsuits on some money grab shit. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this shit like this. Drake, for the longest, bruh, I've had empathy for you because I felt like you was one of those niggas who was a real fan of this music shit. And when you got in, somehow you seen this shit truly for what it was. But somewhere down the line, you should have understood that that's what the fuck comes with the territory. That's the type of shit you signed up for when you came into the game. There ain't no love in the streets. And I'm sure you done seen that by now. And the real reason I was rooting for you, Drake, is because I felt like you was a great representation for the suburban kids. That despite the public perception, despite to these hood niggas and these street niggas that you may look weird, you may look soft, or you may look like a sucker, that you can still come into they shit and rule this shit and run this shit. But despite all of that, you end up being just like the rest of them. You end up being just another nigga.